really means a lot to come together and, realize there's still good in this world.
People in Minnesota finding community in their pain one day after a mass shooting shattered the serenity of a school prayer service, killing 2 children and injuring many more in that congregation. We welcome you in to CBS News 24/7. I'm Reed Cowan. So a short time ago, hospital officials treating the trauma victims gave an update on their conditions. The children killed are ages 8 and 10. Police say the shooter fired bullets through the sanctuary windows as children and community members gathered to pray. 14 children ages 6 to 14 injured. A hospital treating trauma victims said 1 child is in critical condition this very day. 1 is in serious condition and 5 other children are in satisfactory condition. 3 parishioners in their 80s were also shot. And who can forget this? Visibly shaken parents rushed to Annunciation Catholic Church as word spread of the shooting. Police say the shooter, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound behind the church. Listen to June, a 4th grader who was inside with her 1st grade sister when the bullet started to tear through the glass.
I was scared about if I would get hurt. I was worried about everybody getting hurt and injured.
So you heard it, someone grabbed you?
My teacher just jumped on the floor and she kind of motioned for me to get down. And so then me and my buddy just followed her. And then she kind of grabbed my hand a little bit.
What was it like with your buddy holding your hand like that? How did that make you feel?
A little bit safer.
Just very surreal. It's hard to believe that it was, that we're in reality right now. The feeling that I had searching was easily the worst feeling I've ever felt. I just needed to find you. I felt so much relief when I did.
Powerful words. I needed to find you, he says, looking into his daughter's eyes. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey continues the message that you first saw him speak yesterday at this time, right here on CBS News 24/7. That thoughts and prayers are not enough. He spoke on CBS Mornings earlier and talked about what he wants to do to try to stop tragedies like these from ever happening again.
Well, you're going to hear me loud and clear, voicing for as great restrictions as we can possibly get here. I'm a mayor. I fill potholes. We try to put up more affordable housing. We try to keep people safe. But as mayors, we're also very much on the front lines dealing with some of the repercussions when we don't see action at other levels of government. And while there has been, at least in the case of Minnesota, some progress made, we need more, not just in this state, but nationwide. We need to recognize that we love our children more than we love our guns. We need to recognize as a country that when something like this happens, we've got the courage and the conviction to act.
CBS News correspondent Usher Qureshi is in Minneapolis, where a community learns to cope.
Now, understandably, this is a community still stunned by what has occurred, and yet we're seeing support pouring in all forms. Many have come together to hold vigil, not only last night, but also today. Just down the block from where we're standing, countless bouquets of flower have been laid down near the school. And up the street in front of Annunciation Catholic Church, there's another growing memorial. Now, throughout the morning, people have been coming through to pay their respects to the people of this parish and this school. We're also hearing of those harrowing moments in the immediate aftermath of this shooting. The video is very difficult to watch as the terror, chaos, and confusion shows. At the same time, we're learning about how children came to the aid of their fellow classmates, how teachers rushed to move students out of the danger zone, some reuniting with their parents. There's still no telling how many lives were saved as a direct result of those quick actions. Now, as we know, 2 children ages 8 and 10 were killed on the scene. Law enforcement says first responders were able to immediately rush in to render first aid to the wounded and transported 17 victims to area hospitals, most of them children. The most seriously injured were taken to Hennepin County Medical Center. Now, there have been some treated for non-life-threatening injuries, with a number already having been released from other hospitals, but there are still at least 5 children and 1 adult in critical condition. Back to you.
Usher, thank you, my friend. Well, earlier on CBS News 24/7, Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara had this to say about what's being learned about the shooter in the past 24 hours.
What we have seen so far with the evidence, unfortunately, is this is just this is a deranged individual who, like so many other mass shooters, had an obsession with previous mass shootings that was looking to cause as much trauma and carnage as possible for their own personal notoriety. We have not been able to narrow down a specific motive in this case, but we have seen, just countless pieces of evidence that indicate a whole wide variety of hate.
So let's turn to CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, what have you learned about the investigation?
There's so much to go through in this case. There's writings from the shooter. There are those YouTube videos, which include some images of writings to go through, as well as they're trying to figure out a motive and how much plotting and planning was undertaken before the bullets started flying on Wednesday morning. In some of these cases, law enforcement's looking for co-conspirators, accomplices. The Minneapolis police chief closed the door on that one pretty quickly yesterday, saying this is a single shooter who methodically planned out the approach and the attack. But they do want to go through whatever was left behind and whatever they can find moving forward to figure out what's behind this. And some of that may seem somewhat professorial if you think about the fact that the shooter is dead. But this is critical because the FBI director has said that this is unequivocally a domestic terrorism investigation that appears to have targeted Catholics. The Department of Justice has made it a priority for generations to not just deter domestic terrorism, but investigate every case that comes across.
Well, and Scott, I think as a parent, and a lot of parents out there would wonder how, if this person put such vitriol online, was there not some way, some algorithm, some way to catch this in advance? What do we know about the shooter's background?
Well, that sure does have echoes of previous mass shootings, doesn't it? When you hear about all the warning signs that nobody saw or nobody thought to be a warning sign. And underscores another point. Minnesota, one of the states across America that has those red flag laws where somebody can go to a judge to try to seek an effort to get guns, firearms away from somebody deemed a threat by the courts. That wasn't done in this case. The police investigating here have said that these were 3 firearms lawfully obtained, lawfully possessed, and recently obtained and recently possessed without anybody raising that red flag.
So what do we know about the weapons? If what I saw is factual and accurate yesterday, looking at some of those online videos, some of the material, there were a lot of weapons to be had.
Yeah, and the police chief specified it wasn't just that this shooter brought 3 firearms to an American church and opened fires, that he used. The police chief said the shooter used 3 firearms as part of this attack, including that image you see there, which seems to have etchings, which also will be reviewed by federal law enforcement to try to deduce motives. It wasn't just that the shooter brought 3 firearms. The police chief says the shooter used 3 firearms in this attack.
Scott MacFarlane, we appreciate your reporting. I know so many families are listening and trying to figure out why and what the solutions are. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're expecting to hear from Minnesota lawmakers at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. They are also, as is Scott, parsing through all of the information. Those lawmakers will kind of have a dual purpose. They'll honor the victims, but they are also, we expect, calling for action on guns. You're going to hear that right here on CBS News 24/7. You can also get all of the newest information at our website, cbsnews.com.